Hey guys, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, well, first off, I am nearly done with my setup. I still have to do a bit more with this whole area, but yes, I am nearly done with my setup. I still need to put the keyblades up there, and put bows and arrows up there, but for the most part, it's almost done, so yay. So... And I also need to fill up the bookshelves, but that's beside the point. To celebrate this, I decided that I was going to do a video on one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games, the Spiderwick Chronicles. Oh my gosh. I know how much people are going to hate me for this, but honestly, the Spiderwick Chronicles, it is a great game. So, before we hop into this, can we just... You guys remember how on the PS2 we had these awesome little sprites on our memory cards? Why don't we have those anymore? Like, seriously, all these games put so much effort into these little things that you could have on that would just mark your save files, and it was awesome. Honestly, if I could collect pins of these things, I would be so happy. But unfortunately, it's pretty challenging to do that. But without further ado, let us begin. So, Spiderwick Chronicles. A little bit of backstory before we get into this. The Spiderwick Chronicles was actually not just based off a movie. If you guys don't know, the Spiderwick Chronicles movie was based off 5 books. These 5 books obviously follow the main characters, but there's so much more that you can see with this. I'm only going to be showing you the first book throughout this video, but it's kind of important to know a little bit about the story. Actually, I'll show you guys a bit from every book, but the first book is like the closest thing to what actually got seen in the movie. Considering the fact that Holly Black and Tony, whatever his name is, it's really hard to do. What they accomplished with this book was really impressive. They created an entire universe that really is kind of surprising how well they did in the movie, but they did even better with the actual video game. So it's just kind of a interesting thing to think about. Throughout the book, you get lots of little information about the different creatures in this universe, with hog squeal, trolls, goblins, all that jazz. And you can hear a little bit of the music in the background. So let's just switch over to that. So, unlike other video games based off movies, Spiderwick Chronicles was more based off of the books. While it followed the story of the movie, it had a lot of information that was only found throughout the books and through the field guide. You had to collect a whole bunch of things with the goblins. You got to play as Thumbletack. You got to play as really everyone. The river troll is another thing. That was in the book, while it wasn't in the movie. While the cave troll was not in the books, but it was in the movie. Now, of course, the cave troll was mentioned in the field guide, but that's about as far as it goes. Now, like I said, you got to do a whole bunch of stuff with these while playing through the actual Spiderwick Chronicles. You got to play as all 3 of the Grace children and Thimbletack. and you would just collect a whole bunch of things. It was almost like I guess Spyro would be a good example of what you were doing, because it was a collectathon, but you got to still do a whole bunch of cool adventures that were reminiscent of something like Kingdom Hearts. And considering the fact of how old this game is, it surprisingly looks pretty good, all things considered. Yeah, we have some issues with the gameplay and stuff, but it's not that bad. Especially considering the fact that this game was a PS2 game. Nowadays, we don't really get games that were as good as the Spiderwick Chronicles, at least that were based off movies. Like, obviously, yes, we did get stuff like Larry Boy and the Bad Apple, but most people don't know about that because of the fact that it is a game based off VeggieTales, and only children who were raised in a Christian house are going to necessarily know about VeggieTales in general, and probably that many would enjoy it. And it's the reason that it's good is because of the fact that it was the equivalent to Spider-Man on the PS2, and I didn't play that, so I don't know how good that was. But almost every other game, like Robots, Shrek, and all of those others, they did not do well in this during the PS2 era, and for some reason, game companies decided, we're not going to take the how much people enjoyed these good games. We're going to look at the bad games and try to improve those, even though we're actually basically failing. But I don't know. We need to get more games like this, absolutely. So let's go through a little bit about this game. So first off, it does follow the movie's storyline. Like, obviously, it's not gonna go to the frickin' junkyard like they did in the books. They're not gonna go face off against elves and things down in the down underground like they did in this in book 4, the Ironwood Tree. And while they do talk about, while they do go to see Lucinda, it's not the same. It was more interesting the way they got there in the movie. We obviously had cool things that happened throughout these things, and yeah, some of what they did in the movies had a better aesthetic. Thimbletack kind of just looked like a bit of a hobo, to be honest, which in the book, so having him all prim and proper, it makes a lot of sense considering the fact that he did serve frickin' Arthur Spiderwick, and and it makes sense. There were a whole bunch of really cool battles that you got to fight in, teaming up with your friends. I believe that there is a co-op play, but it's like not to the extent of other games, I believe. And another thing is that you had to upgrade your weapons. For how early on it was, and how many characters there were. There were 4 freaking characters. It makes sense that they didn't go to the extremes, but you did have to upgrade your weapons. Jared got a wooden baseball bat first. I think then he got a pipe, and then he got his metal baseball bat at the end. Whatever her name is, the girl, she starts out with her fencing sword and then gets the cool sword that she gets at the end. You have to freaking... The fun thing was getting Simon's weapons, because the way that since Simon is you had to collect a lot of things for him because like he spent a lot of time away from them to make his special tomato sauce gun, and it was really awesome to see us get to develop that. Now, obviously, you don't get to do too much with Thumbeltech, but as you play through the game, you get to experience more stuff and collect more stuff with him. Fighting your ways through all the tunnels inside there, eventually collecting a whole bunch of cockroaches. As you collect teeth from all the goblins, they add up, and you get to see those in Thumbeltech's place. Wings from fairies, stuff like that. And for a game based off a movie and book series that has something like this, it's really impressive how much they were able to do. Um, I I honestly don't think that they could have done much more with the Spiderwick Chronicles to make it feel more like the book. But honestly, this game, while yes, obviously it was a bit of a cash grab, it feels less like a cash grab than most movie video games that you'll see nowadays, or even back then. It felt like Holly Black and Tony, whatever his name is, really wanted to make this game feel like the books and the movie, and it feels good. It feels like a really well-designed game that had a lot of heart put into it. You don't get games like this nowadays, which, while sad, it is true. Honestly, nowadays, the games that you would get that are based off movies would be something, if it's going to be good, it's going to be a fighter like My Hero One's Justice. Most other games aren't going to do that well. Just straight up. If it's something that you would think, oh yeah, this will be fun. It's based off this awesome movie. Most of them just end up being cash grabs because, oh, the movie's coming out. Here, let's make this really quick video game to make things look cool. And yes, they existed back then, but the thing is that a lot of these video games back in the PS2 era were given permission. They were worked on by both the authors of the movies and stuff like that, and they were able to develop them a lot better than I think we get nowadays. People are lazy, let's be honest, and while yes, things are a lot faster nowadays, and you can make video games faster than you used to. A good video game still takes a lot of heart and love to make them good. Which, yeah, this is one of them. Now, I would love to see this game get a remake in the future. One of the reasons why I'm saying show it some love. But I'm not necessarily saying that we need to get Spiderwick Chronicles itself as a remake. While yes, a remake would be cool, a remaster just transferred over to the PlayStation 4 would be fine. Maybe switch it up to the PS5 or something. But when that comes out. But what I would really love to see is for Holly Black and Tony DeTerliza to instead make a movie for the other 3 books, which sadly I don't have, but make something for those, and then make a new video game focusing on those characters and their adventures. And maybe we will see that eventually. This video isn't necessarily saying show some love to the Spiderwick Chronicles. anyone who has read them loves them. So if you haven't read them, yes, I do suggest that you read the books, you watch the movie, you play the video game. It is hard to find the video game nowadays, but it's possible. So yeah, if you are gonna show it some love, yes, it would be a good thing to buy the books, watch the movie. You're giving some good money to Holly Black and Tony or Liza, whatever his name is, as well as all of the other people that worked on these things. And with how much love it's obvious they put into these games, I think it would be helpful for them to get more money and see, oh wow, people still love this series. Let's see if we can do more. Maybe we'll get another series focusing on some more kids besides the two kids that were introduced in the 3 books and the Grace children from the 5. Maybe we'll see something new with, I don't know, maybe a new group of family that's going off to the Spiderwick mansion. I don't know. But but that's not what I'm saying today. I'm saying for you guys to make your own videos about video games that you liked. Specifically ones based off movies. Show show people, hey, yeah, this video game was really good. Show it send it off to people who make video games and say, hey, make a video game like this. This game was awesome. If you're gonna make something based off a movie, put some heart into it. Make it truly something that fans will enjoy and you will enjoy creating. Don't just make it for the money. You'll make more money if you actually put the effort into it and make this a truly good game. But anyways, guys, like I said, you should definitely buy the Spiderwick Chronicles, all 5 books, as well, or I should say, all 9 books, because there's also the 3 books that were made years ago, that were made a little bit more recently, and there's also the Spiderwick Field Guide. I do suggest getting those. Maybe if you can find it, purchase the Spiderwick Chronicles video game, and check out the movie, because honestly, there's not much that is as good as the Spiderwick Chronicles. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!